Good evening, everybody. So I'm gonna cover a couple of items which I think probably are gonna be want to be heard about anyways, just so we don't have multiple questions about the same thing over and over. So ICE, everyone is wondering what's going on with ICE. You know, why are they here? Why are they there? Why are they everywhere? Here's what I can tell you, what I know. Unless you see somebody in a green uniform, they're not ICE agents. What they are bounty hunters, believe it or not, and they're all over the United States right now. So unless you see them in those green uniforms with the gold patches, those are the ICE agents. All these other people, from what I've understood, and I've talked to 5 different people, 5 different agencies, federal, and they've all coincided with this. These are bounty hunters for the most part, okay? So, but we do have policy when it comes to all that, so everybody knows we're all on the same page. First of all, the Niles Police Department does not engage in federal immigration enforcement, which is a responsibility of ICE and the Customs Border Protection, okay? Immigration law is civil and falls under federal jurisdiction. Local police have zero authority to enforce federal civil immigration laws unless specifically authorized. The Supreme Court, 1997, ruled that the federal government cannot compel local police to enforce federal laws. Illinois Trust Act, enacted in 2017, it limits cooperation between Illinois police and federal immigration agencies. Officers cannot detain, arrest, or assist in immigration enforcement unless there is a criminal warrant issued by a judge. The law promotes trust with immigrant communities so victims and witnesses feel safe reporting crimes. At least that was the mindset in 2017. Illinois Way Forward Act further prohibits local law enforcement from entering into contracts or agreements with ICE for immigration enforcement. Local police may only assist when a criminal warrant has been issued by a judge, a person is arrested for a criminal offense under state or local law, cooperation with federal authorities relates to a criminal investigation, not a civil immigration matter. Rationale: to comply with state law and avoid civil liability, to maintain community trust and cooperation, to focus resources on local public, not federal immigration forces. The Niles Police Department has always followed state and federal law by not participating in immigration enforcement, except when it involves a criminal matter or a valid issued warrant. Now, it's a lot of mumble jumble. So here's what, and it's the policy and everything else. Bottom line is, when federal agents, no matter who they are, Homeland Security was just here and they scooped somebody up about 8 weeks ago. Roy, Kelly, about 8 weeks ago, 10 weeks ago. Zero notice. They came in, trucks, units, everything else. They don't tell our police anything, nor can we interfere with any federal operation. It's against the law for us to interfere. Now, let's say, for instance, there's somebody like these bounty hunters out there. We have absolutely right, if we're called, we can go there. We start by running their plate, and correct me if I'm wrong on anything. We run their plate, find out if the plate is federal or not. If it's not, the police officers will ask for identification and stop everything until they find out who this person is, who they work for, and if they're doing anything against our laws, we can stop them. But is that it in a nutshell? Pretty much, right? Without all the technicalities. So yes, if there is a problem and we see somebody being accosted or grabbed or whatever it may be and they're not in uniform, our police officers will stop them. They're going to run the plate, ask for their IDs, and then move forward with the process, just like they're civilians, just so everybody knows. And I wanted to be clear about that. Number one. So that's all I have to say on ICE, and we can always talk about later as well. If somebody wants to ask any other questions, if I have the answers, I'll give them to you. Major developments. Niles has not developed anything in our town. Nothing major has been done here since 1999, I believe, was the last major building ever put up. All the condos in Milwaukee Avenue were all built before 2000. And Four Flags Shopping Center, which is half Niles and half Skokie, went up about 98 or 99, if I'm correct. Somewhere about that. And we started saying to ourselves, why are all these young people moving into every single village around us and not here? We wanted to know why. Well, we started falling behind. And so we've really pushed development here. The 9201 building up by church in Milwaukee, 48 units. It's a $20 million development. 6633 North Milwaukee, South End, by the old Slinger Drum, if anyone remembers Slinger Drum back in the day, and Hesco, all the way at the south end of the town. $52 million project, 180 luxury apartments. And by the way, these apartments are starting at $325 a square foot. It's insane, and they're pre-renting them. The White Eagle and the office building development, 6,000 square foot restaurant, 17,000 square foot open space, ancillary amendments, so on and so forth. 330 luxury rental apartments with 24 luxury rental townhouses. We have not gotten the official number on the project, but it's about estimated at $150 million in project. Yeah, it's a lot of money. 7201, the Pinnacle on Harlem and Toohey, which has been an eyesore, and everyone wanted to know what's going on there. We finally got somebody that's going to develop it. It's going to be a 5 to 7 story unit. The 7 stories will be closer to Toohey Avenue, and the 5 sort of in the back part of it. 215 luxury apartments, $90 million valued. Kukla's Restaurant, Amici's. Everyone's like, when is it opening? They're a week and a half away from opening. They're supposed to be open by November 10th now. It's finally, they're coming to that final day. People have asked for more restaurants during the referendum. I know that 68%, was it referendum or the 2040 plan? I forget which one it was. 2040 plan, 68% of our citizens said we need more restaurants, better restaurants, so we don't have to go to Rosemont or Park Ridge or anywhere else. So we've been bringing them in. We've brought in Crosby's. We've brought in Sabor on Milwaukee Avenue. We have Kukla's now. There are a couple other chefs talking to us right now for better restaurants. Kukla's, I could tell you, Jimmy Banos Jr. was named the #1 chef under 30 years old in the United States by the James Beard Foundation. If you don't know what that is, it's like going to the Academy Awards. If you're a chef and you make it to James Beard, it's like being given an Academy Award. His father as well was considered the #1 Cajun Creole chef outside of New Orleans. 7400 Links, so on the northwest corner, kitty corner from the gas station on Caldwell and Grosse Pointe Road, or Hearts it turns into there. We've got a new business going in there, a woman-owned business. It is going to be their international headquarters. 2027, a redevelopment, and we're waiting to get the final numbers, but it's going to be pretty huge. We're knocking everything down and rebuilding. Fire station #2 I'm going to talk about last. And the Nature Nook. So the Nature Nook is the old Ideal property here on Waukegan Road. It's been an eyesore with the big swallow in it, and now you see a bulldozer there, and they're filling it in. We just put in for an OSLAD grant, community development, and it was led by Chris Raguso, the department head. Secured it. They were selling it for $800,000. We bought it for $500,000 instead of the $800,000. We're waiting on an OSLAD grant, and I don't have the number in front of me here. $600,000 OSLAD grant where we're going to keep it open, natural. There'll be some honeybee, a small honeybee farm, things of that nature, walking path. It's going to be really, really nice. Fire station #2. There's been a lot of talk and everything about fire station #2. Fire station #2 right now is the one on Cumberland and Dempster. It's outdated. Our equipment, so fire trucks and equipment have been getting bigger and bigger, and they're not fitting properly in the firehouse anymore, and the towers are actually scraping the ceiling, pulling in there, which could be very, very dangerous. We have entered into talks with the Archdiocese of Chicago. The Archdiocese of Chicago is getting back to us sometime this week, by the end of the week. Otherwise, I can't say too much. I'm Greek, so they can't banish me from the church. But anyways, we are working with them very carefully. It looks like we've got a plan in place. What we're going to do is build a new firehouse there, across the street on the northwest corner of Mary Hill Cemetery. And then we'll move that. Now we'll have that property then to either develop or sell, depending on which way it goes. If we get something there commercial, obviously, we would love that. I heard Cappy's, I would love to move in the Niles, yeah, believe me. But, so that's really about it. And then there was questions. I'm going to give this to Elliot so he can read them himself. And we were talking about the Niles Free Bus. So the Niles Free Bus was not stopped by, well, we did stop it. I shouldn't say that. We are the ones that stopped the Niles Free Bus. There have been negotiations going on for started in January of 24, correct me if I'm wrong, it's January of 24. They came up with, and you can see it's all been in the news. All of a sudden you're hearing all about the buses and trains and, there's no funding and so on and so forth. They came up with a ludicrous ask of us. So right now it's pretty much split. 2/3 is paid for by PACE, and we pay for the other third. That's labor, it's maintenance. They give us the buses. Maintenance, it's our workers, it's the parts, it's mechanical, it's everything. And they insure them. Well, the initial insurance, they said they wanted to pull on us, which they did. And our original numbers were somewhere up over $1 million a year. Besides, now let's be real about this, folks. It was never a free bus. It was a courtesy bus. It was free for people to use. It's always cost the Village of Niles about $650,000. I don't disagree with it. I think it's a great service to have. We are in talks with them, trying to get it straightened out. It's not like dealing with us. We're dealing with big government agencies, and they all have got a song and story that they want to sing to us. We are working very hard on it. We're starting to break through certain things. So we're hoping that we will be able to restore it. There's other options that we're looking at, smaller buses, things of that nature. So it's not a dead issue. Yes, so that covers everything, Elliot, that you asked for here in just one long answer. Anyways, so at this point, the floor is wide open. Any questions that you have whatsoever?
Every one of your housing projects you listed were great, but I don't want Niles to become a condominium community. And several that you mentioned are on the busiest streets Niles has. Have you ever tried going down Harlem Avenue after 4 o'clock, or Milwaukee? Have you invited the state for any improvements on these roadways? And second question, quick, I would hope that you would use your Greek influence to Mr. Ginulius, and get these e-bikes off the street.
Okay, so folks, yes, we're in talks with IDOT. So first things first, Milwaukee Avenue is hellacious, Harlem Avenue is hellacious, Touhy Avenue is hellacious, Dempster's, all these major streets are just rough with traffic. Unfortunately, the United States of America is very good at going in and blowing up countries and then rebuilding them, and they're better than ours now with their infrastructure and everything else. Our infrastructure is all from the 50s and 60s, after World War II predominantly, and the baby boomers. There was one car in the house. Now, how many cars do you see in a home? 4, 5? Every kid's got their own car. Not in my house, thank God. But it's really congestive. We are talking to these apartments. They're going to have zip cars there. A lot of these young kids now, the millennials, don't drive, or I'm saying they don't own a car. They don't want to build a house or rent, or they don't want to build their own, a house or a condo. They want to rent. They want everything free. They want, don't pay taxes, so on and so forth. Yes, I would love to see our housing market. We are working with the Grow Your Home program and things of that nature to get people in here. We're hoping that this is a stepping stone for young people. They come in, they get married, or they're dating, or whatever they have, and maybe have a child. Hey, we like it here in Niles, and you know what? We're going to look for a home now. So that's what we're hoping for. We're also working with CDOT and IDOT to change the light at Devon and Milwaukee to lengthen it, heading north and southbound. Another 45 seconds will help alleviate that. I'm in talks with Anthony Napolitano of 41st Ward, too, to see what we can do about the lights over at Touhy and Harlem, as well as maybe getting Touhy a 2-lane street heading westbound as well. It's wide open and us coming eastbound. Traffic is a major problem everywhere. I went downtown for a wedding Saturday night. 9 o'clock at night, there was traffic from downtown all the way to Wilson Avenue coming home. It was ridiculous. So yes, we are doing our best. E-bikes, it's all in review right now. They've got some type of, first of all, e-scooters were banned in Niles in 2004 or 5, I forgot the year. And e-bikes are going to put constraints on the ones that really go fast. Some of the, Mickey Mouse, the smaller ones aren't that. It's the Class A, B. Those are just, regular humans could run that fast.
You and I are old enough to remember mopeds.
Yeah.
Same thing with a different motor.
That's what it is.
Had license plates.
Yeah. Well, I think the way they're working it out, if somebody's got one of these e-bikes, I think they're going to have to be licensed and insurance. Don't quote me, but I think that's what we're looking at. Martin Grove just did that. Sure, next up.
George, I had made a suggestion at one of I think the first town hall meeting, and I don't think it ever happened, I don't think that people realize how little of the roads Niles has control over. And I had suggested maybe putting something in the community guide or issuing something. I don't remember, if you did, I missed it then, I apologize. But I think that would be a good idea because I travel Milwaukee, every day because our office is on the south end. And we do need more lights, but again, hopes and dreams, we don't control it, and I think that that's important for people that live in Niles to really understand that.
Sure. So I could bring that up right now. The only major thoroughway that's in the Village of Niles that's owned by us is Howard Street. Every other major street is owned by the Illinois Department of Transportation except for Greenwood. Greenwood is owned by Cook County. So, and that's why you see us maintaining them for them, because God knows if we waited for IDOT or the county to plow our major streets, they would never get plowed. I mean, that's why we do that. We take care of the median when there's overgrown weeds and things of that nature. Our guys go out there and use a weed whacker, or they kill the weeds, which we're not supposed to. But I'm not going to sit and look at 3-foot high weeds and everyone say, well, what's going on in Niles? Why are there weeds growing out of the middle of the medians of all the highways? So that's what's going on there. It's got its pluses and its minuses. When they need to be fixed, we get the money to fix them, which is great. But the minuses are we have very little control. In today's day, it takes you to get a stoplight put in on a street about 2.5 years. Yeah, it's terrible. It's bureaucracy. That poor young man that got killed over on with the bicycle on Cleveland, Shermer, and Milwaukee at that blind at Waukegan, Shermer, and Cleveland with that blind spot. Still nothing. And there was a kid killed there. Yeah. I mean, they're going through traffic studies and this and that, and it's a shame. I mean, I don't think that's the way things should run. So, I mean, we're fighting for everybody, believe me. And you don't want to be in these rooms with closed doors with me in there sometimes. I mean, well, you'd like it, what I'm saying, but they don't like it, because I'm pretty straight with everybody. So we're still fighting for everybody all the time. Yes, Carol?
Talking about traffic in our area, we live off of Monroe Street on Merrill, and Monroe Street is such a thoroughfare. We've all talked in our neighborhood. They come through, they don't stop at any stop signs from Cumberland all the way through. So we're wondering if there could be a no left-hand turn from Monroe onto Milwaukee Avenue. There's a stoplight at Main Street. All they have to do is go around the cemetery, go to Main Street, make a left-hand turn, and it would be perfect. But it's really a bad intersection, Monroe and Milwaukee. There's lots of accidents there.
We'll talk to Tony and Ron over there about that. There's already plans in place for stop signs, and I know I spoke to Chief Romano as well. It looks like we're going to have just one. Well, you guys may not know this. Anyways, there may be just one police officer that is doing nothing but patrolling neighborhoods. So they have on all the major throwaways, is watching the stop signs, things of that nature. And I'll tell you, you know what the shame of it is? 85% of them are citizens just flying through.
I know.
I mean, that's the shame.
Yeah.
It's like, God forbid if there's one kid, I mean, how do you replace, it's a shame. Yeah, I don't get it.
Yeah.
Folks? Yeah,
I wrote my question down. Hold on.
thank you.
I live adjacent to the parking lot in St. John Brebeuf, who recently started broadcasting bells via loudspeaker over 12 times a day. I accept that living next to a church means a certain amount of noise, honking horns in the parking lot, Oktoberfest and other festivals, loud bass pumping from their event space at night that I can hear in my house, etc. I accept that hearing occasional bells is an accepted sound coming from a church, but I would expect that to be limited to calls to service and a couple of calls to prayer each day. The 12 hourly broadcasts excuse me, are excessive and unnecessary. I have a petition of over 20 people who agree that 12 broadcasts a day are excessive. There were 6 additional people recently on Facebook that agreed, and there are 9 complaints on the Niles website about the broadcasts. What is the village going to do to address the concerns of the residents that our peace and our property values are being diminished by this excessive violation of the noise ordinance?
I'll take that petition. I did speak to Father Jason. We do have bells ringing throughout the village, so we do have them. The Leaning Tower, which I don't know how many times a day they ring.
Nobody lives next to the Leaning Tower.
No, I know. I get it. And St. Catalambos, their church does it. I believe some of the other churches do. I know he cut a couple of the bells out already. I could talk to him. But, yeah, it's just, once again, it's a church, so we have to tread water very carefully as well. Just as if it was a mosque and they were calling people a prayer. So we have to really tread the water very carefully. They are protected by more laws than all of us, all houses of worship. I could talk to Father Jason and see what we can do and maybe limit a couple of the hour chimes. I think he does the song or whatever it is 3 times a day, at 12, 3, and 6. It's all the constant. Yeah, we'll find out. I can work with him on Jeanette. No problem. I would assume. Yeah, I'll talk to him. Yes. I mean, he's very easy to talk to, and it's best because my office is handling it personally, and he's pretty receptive to most things we say. I just, of course, have got to watch what I ask. So.
Is that really the volume?
Yeah. It's the constant. It's the constant.
It's the constant.
Sure, I got it. So you don't have earbuds in like every 15-year-old kid all day? Just tune out the whole world? I got you. Who's next, please? Oh,
Sorry.
Margaret?
Stanley Buyak, 30 years Niles resident. I want to address the TIF money which was given to those 2 restaurants. I work in private sector. I did many projects, and whenever I ask for money for the project, in private sector, they tell me that they will sign it, CFO, CEO, if they can see 1 year, max 2 years return on investment. We give them $2.8 million. If we invest that money at 4% in standard CD, we will be generating $228,000 and $480 in 2 years. That will be no return on investment, just to get our money back. In order for them to give us that money back in the form of taxes, assuming that our share of taxes is 3.5%, they will have to generate $219,178 a day. And we all know that's impossible. So how was that good investment?
The restaurant industry, I could tell you. And it's more than just the financial investment. So once again, 64 or 8%, I forget what the number was, 68% of our people are screaming for new restaurants, for better restaurants, things of that nature. Now, an investment doesn't come just financially. It comes in the well-being of a community. It's a place where people could gather, where they have places to go, things of that nature too. So listen, and I'm a businessman and I have 8 places. I'm in the industry hardcore, and let me tell you something. I didn't get anything from Morton Grove when I did all my remodeling either. And I've been there for 47 years. So I understand that. But the people wanted it, the people asked for it. That's why TIFs are in place. TIFs are in place. You're not necessarily going to get your money back fiscally, but it's a new place for somebody to go to, so on and so forth. Property taxes will generate. We get a small portion of that. We get 9.5% of a property tax bill, I believe, as well as the sales tax dollars. And there's a food and beverage tax on top of that. I wish I had a restaurant that did $219,000 a day, Stanley. I'd be really happy. But so it's a little bit more than that. We are listening to our citizens, and it's us investing in the community as well. It's letting them know that we are serious, because it's heartbreaking, even for me. I mean, I spend as much money as I can in Niles, and I'm not, I don't go out to these big shot dinners. It's not who I am. I'm just, just an average guy. But if there's a special occasion, we go to Crosby's now, but it's places like that that will keep more people in the community and bring people into here, which will cause more awareness. And getting into that, I could piggyback this on it. So all these luxury apartments right now are all privately funded, by the way, so does everyone hear me? It's all private money. Number one. Number two, studies are out, and somebody could correct me if I'm wrong, but I think I'm pretty close, that 42% of the money in those households are spent within the village that they live in. So all these apartments that are coming in means more income, which means more people coming in, things of that nature. So it's a balancing act, Stanley. Financially, on paper, it doesn't look great. I'm not going to lie about it. I'm not going to say it's a smart investment. It's a smart investment. It's not a good investment, if that makes sense. I mean, I get it. Like I said, I've been there 47 years, and I can't tell you how many millions of dollars we've dumped into the restaurant. I got nothing. I got half a sign. They paid $30,000 for my sign out of $60,000. That was it. So I hear you, and I understand. No, because we're running short on time. I'm sorry. Is there something I could add to it?
Just that the TIF money does not come from the residents.
Yeah, it doesn't come from the general fund whatsoever.
Businesses, to help promote businesses, which helps you gift shopping. It's not coming from your household.
Yeah, it's not coming from your personal households or the general fund, just so everybody knows.
Can you give us an update on the Gulfville Shopping Center?
I was going to get to that because, I talked to the landlord a few times over the last 10 days. So as of now, it is a $443, $5 or $8 million project, somewhere around there. 443, today's dollars. Thank you, Tom. Tom Robb is here from the Niles Journal as well. When they put it up for sale a few months ago, they did that to cast a wider net. They had one strong investor that backed out at the last minute. They want to get out of this problem and get it done. They're losing about $15,000 a day. The way it is, yeah. I know no one in this room wants to lose $15 a day, let alone $15,000 a day. They're trying to cast a wider net. There's a lot more interest. There's more developers talking to them now and things of that nature. They assured me that it's still on track. I've talked to them, like I said, 3 times in the last 10 days. They asked us if they could start doing certain things. I'm not ready to talk to them about that yet. I've got to sit down with staff and talk to them all about that first. But it still looks 70% retail, entertainment, and 30% will be office and or hotel possibly and or residence. So it's there. We did the RDA. We made sure that everything, the redevelopment agreement. So the Village of Niles has done absolutely everything. I want to reiterate one thing that's very strong, especially about TIF. So we promised them $94 million in TIF, but the TIF money, they don't get a penny until those buildings are built, until those buildings are on the payroll, on the property tax roll, and we start collecting property taxes from that. Then they start getting their money. They don't get a penny, so we are all protected. The board and I all live in Niles too, so we watch our money as well. And we made sure that there was no way in or out. Park Ridge Uptown could have been disastrous for them. They were about if they didn't do, Tom may know. But they're going to put an extra tax on everybody because that was TIF. That was not going very well. We've protected the community in a dozen different ways on this. So fingers crossed. I'm supposed to be talking to them tomorrow at 1:30 tomorrow afternoon, and I'll know a little bit more. Yes. Oh. Yes.
So follow up.
I got you.
Follow up on Gulf Mill.
Yeah.
When do you expect demolition to actually start? Because it was supposed to start in September.
It's supposed to start at the end of September, correct. They just called me, and it was supposed to start in the southwest corner, come up Church Street to Milwaukee, and then up to the, they're going to leave all the outlets. All the outlets on Gulf Road and all the outlets, street side or the outlets, are staying up. They're supposed to leave up Penny's, Target, Ulta, Burlington, and Ross, as well as Gordon Food Store and the Export Store. The Export Store was bought out by LA Fitness, and they shut it down. So we don't know what's going to go there. They called me, and they have great interest in starting in the southwest corner soon, but I have to talk to staff. And Trustee Niedermeyer, who's the chairperson of that committee as well as I slowed things down because we have a new village manager here, like we announced earlier, Frank Lindblom. and I don't want to bring everyone into a whirlwind, so they're going to call me tomorrow. I'm going to take the call, and I'm going to report back to staff, so we should have a little better answer to that. Yes, we have 3 here, and then Rosemary, I won't forget. Young man, we'll get you too. Okay.
Hi, my name is Ashley, and I actually emailed you about 3 weeks ago. I'm going to be referring to the issue on ice.
Don't email me. Yeah, I don't.
That's not what Denise said.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I hate
Very
email, but that's all right.
heartfelt email. Sorry that you didn't get to read it. However, I want to talk about the issue on ice. You talk about all the limitations and the things that we cannot do. I don't understand why we're not talking about the things that our residents can do, the rights that they do have, and the confusion is coming, and the fear is coming from the confusion. They're very much scared, and I don't see any of them here, and they don't feel comfortable being in a setting like this because of the situation that is happening out in other towns, neighboring towns, Mount Prospect, Wheeling, Glenview even is being very much a hot spot at the moment. Yeah. And I have coworkers, I work very much in a very close vicinity to Cappies, and I have coworkers who are fearful to leave their home to be on the bus to come straight down Dempster because they have seen people being taken out of their cars. There is video happening. Jewel and Home Depot has been a very prime spot for them to be. And I understand we have limitations, but every other town is letting every other resident know you do have rights. They're not here they have list of names, whatever the case is, but nothing is being said, just we don't get involved. And as a Niles resident, I moved to the city, hated it over there, brought my children here because I love it here, was raised here. My family home is still here in Niles, and I work here. However, I see my coworkers, my neighbors, my kids' bus stop diminishing by half because they're fearful, because their bus stop is directly on Dempster. That is an issue.
I hear you. So I did send the letter out to Suzanne, predominantly Hispanic community, or just everybody in general. Yeah, I did send a personal letter out to everybody, letting them know that we are here for them. Here's what I can tell you. First of all, we all know social media. Once you get on social media and you start putting in Costco, anything that has to do with Costco is going to pop up on your social media feed.
I have been there when it happened.
No, I'm
you know
not.
What I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, no, I agree with you. Listen, I'm in an industry that I rely on, predominantly Hispanic. So, and I've always fought for the Hispanics my whole life. And I get it, and I'm going to say this with the utmost respect, because the Greeks were the Hispanics. We came here, we didn't speak English, we had no money, we had the worst jobs in the world. My grandfather was making 2 cents an hour on the railroads in 1912, and he was paid by what he was. He wasn't paid because it was, it wasn't race, it was just by what ethnicity it was. And there are 3 ethnicities above him, and I get it. And we worked hard to get out of it. Different scenario, but that's why I've always had a soft spot for that. There have been 5 incidents total in the Village of Niles, total, and unless you guys have a different number than me. 3 were with bounty hunters, 2 were with ICE agents, and we have 31,000 people here. And percentage-wise, and I'm not dissing this whatsoever, percentage-wise it's good. There's an article that Tom Robb just wrote about all the area mayors and elected officials about this. And we're doing as much as we can. And, we are always good to our people. So if there's something or a way that you think I could get in touch with people or talk, I'd be happy to.
I just think we should be just like everyone else, having at the library, the schools. Maine East has put out their own statement because there was, alleged spottings. There was alleged spottings outside of elementary schools, and these are kids who talk to their parents at home. They have game plans. Maybe we have to go back. They're just fearful because, again, it's the unknown. So I think just finding a way to send out a village letter saying you do have rights. Please visit these websites to understand this is what we're doing to protect you, and understand that we do not care where you came from and why you're here. We just understand that we are a community and we stand together.
Yeah.
Simple.
I got you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Okay, so yes, hold on. You were next. And then who else had their hand up? And you did, young lady. I'm sorry. So the 2 ladies here, then Rosemary, then this gentleman here with the glasses. We got about 10 minutes. I'm not shutting you guys down quick, just to give me a sort of a time of what we have left.
I have a follow-up to that. So first of all, Niles is 42% foreign-born. 42% of residents of Niles.
I'll give you a better
were not born
standard.
here.
64% of our 64% of our citizens' first language is not English.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So we are really a village of immigrants. And right now, the immigrant community is under attack. People are living in fear. Other mayors in this area have kind of made stronger statements. The mayor of Evanston recently passed an ordinance declaring their city property to be ICE-free. And I wonder if you would consider measures like that to make sure the immigrant population of Niles feels more comfortable. It would really send a message, in addition to the things that you were saying as well. Children are living in fear?
As of last week, last Friday, I think that's beautiful. It's not just the Latinos, it's our Middle Eastern people as well. The Uber drivers are getting held up at O'Hare.
Yep.
It's a very much a diverse city, and I want to keep it that way. So
Yep.
it would be nice.
I agree. I'm going to tell you why Dan Biss did that. He only did it because he's running for Congress right now. And I know Dan,
It still sent a message.
I understand, but sometimes when you prod the bear too much, the bear bites back pretty hard. And I'm not trying, we're trying to find a good middle ground. I'm not trying to appease anybody, but in the meantime, the harder you push, and a lot of this was brought on by politicians that were just kept slamming the president as well. And I don't agree fully with what he's doing whatsoever, but you keep going blah, 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 I guess he's going to slap back, and this is the kind of guy that will get at you.
But again, I do feel very strongly that Niles needs to do something. Something. Right now, there's kind of nothing. And like she said too, sorry, I forgot your name. Kids are not going to school. Ashley. People are staying home from work and they're living in fear. My husband is a citizen. He's carrying around like copies of his documents with him. It's very, very scary.
I understand.
Thank you.
Sure, thank you. Sorry.
My name is,
Excuse me. And Ashley, ¿de dónde eres? Mexico?
Yes, my father actually built his life here after he left Mexico.
Yeah.
Came here. Omega was his first job. Big Daddy's was
That poor man. He worked at Omega? Oh, no. Yeah.
and he finally bought a home in River Grove.
Y mi español es mejor de mi griego, pero que lo uso todo el día. I know. I get you.
my name is Jessica. I live
Jessica.
on, hello. I live on Odell between Howard and Jonquil. My question is about stormwater drainage.
We just had that discussion right before the start.
So I have an ongoing petition and just
You're
issue-
in the zone. You don't need to say anything more.
Yes.
And I wish. Yes, we have a plan. We were given $2.5 million for that project. I think, are we breaking ground this year for phase 2? Right? Yeah. So there was a 3-phase project. I was talking to you guys about that just earlier. Yeah. When I went out to D.C., I brought them newspaper clippings from 1963 about that area. There's 78 homes that flood constantly. We're talking about 100-year rains, which are happening every 2 or 3 years nowadays. But we just got $2.5 million. We did the first part was over by Howard Street. Phase 2 was supposed to be starting, I think, at the end of this year. And phase 3 will be right after it.
So what will that alleviate? Because my issue specifically is with the backyard drainage program. I have neighbors that are increasing their grading by 3 feet. I get everybody's
Well, you
stormwater.
then we need to get people over there to,
it's-
they can't do that.
Like I said, I've had an ongoing petition since 2020, and I know there's been turnover at the village, but nobody will come out and help me.
We will. So, see Ron Strelecki over there, Sewer and Water, and you can speak to Chris at Community Development as well.
Okay.
Yeah, I get it. I understand.
Yep.
Because they cannot be pitching grades and throwing water into your neighbors. It's
Right.
illegal.
A lot of it has to do with improvements that the village has approved. And
Right.
I know Tom Powers is gone, Steve Quinn was somebody I was dealing with back in the day too. But it's just very frustrating. We're a younger family. We have 6 kids. It creates a health concern.
Sure, yeah.
back
West
there
Nile
when
virus,
there's-
standing water, sure, I get it.
Yes.
Yeah, so that your area was number 10 on the list. When I got into office, we moved it up to number 5, and I think you guys are next up now. So
Okay.
we went 5 years quicker than we were supposed to. Not supposed to, but I don't know if the old mayor had a beef with a neighbor over there or somebody pushed. No, I'm teasing you.
Thank you.
Sure. We've got Rosemary, and then this gentleman in the glasses as well. I'm sorry, I don't know your name. I apologize.
Thank you very much, George. Rosemary Palicki, resident of Niles for about 50 years.
Rosemary also sat at the dais. She was a trustee for years here in the Village of Niles. How about a round of applause for her?
Thank you. It was my honor to serve the people of Niles, I must say. And I'd like to just follow up a comment on the ICE thing. Poking the bear is a responsibility of everyone who's in this room and who's in the Village of Niles and throughout the United States. Last weekend, hundreds of thousands of people poked the bear without any fear of consequences or swallowing the fear of consequences. And if we or if anyone doesn't do anything, saying nothing, doing nothing, is accepting what's happening. We can't do that.
I agree with you.
But now to get more personal, well, this is personal.
Can I start? Can I say something about that first?
Sure.
There are a group of us out here that are working back channels on this and sort of keeping this area safer. I can't say too much, but you got to sort of trust. That's, as a politician, we work other channels as well instead of just coming up. And so there's other things that we're doing, and I'm doing it with people in the state level as well as people in the local levels. There's mayors involved and other people that are, I am.
That, George,
I just
and
don't like to say
support
too
that.
much, and that's why the incidents have really not been that bad here. People are afraid. I get it.
But I think when we go to higher levels, and I don't want to talk federal
No.
here, but when people don't say anything, that's what's gotten us to where we are now.
Oh,
We
I agree
can't
with
go
you.
along with
Yeah,
that.
no.
But anyhow, I wanted to talk about, in addition, the PACE bus system. And I was very surprised when I learned about the fact that PACE was canceled that weekend. And I wondered why there hadn't been a robocall throughout the village to let everybody know that PACE transportation was going to be canceled. Because even though during the course of the day, I think the bus drivers went out, drove the routes, there's still people who left their homes not knowing that they weren't going to find a bus there. I know back in the days when I was electioning, we all used robocalls because it didn't cost much money. So
Right.
why didn't the village do that this time?
They talked about doing a robocall. Steve is not here tonight. He was the head of Public Works. He went out right away, spoke to the drivers, called everybody. Then those drivers went to all the bus stops and were waiting for people and driving people around the initial day or two. And they got the signs up right away. In the meantime, we had 32 phone calls about it, I believe. 8 of them were not from people from the village. So as the numbers are coming in, it didn't seem like this massive disruption. Had I seen a few more numbers, would we have done it? Yes. But I just decided, since it was there and it was up on social media and everything else, that I thought we weren't getting a lot of action about it, that's all. And if I made a mistake, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think we have to remember that a lot of people who use the free bus are not on social media.
Yeah, no.
That they would not be seeing what had been posted there. And that I think whenever there's a major change in services to the village, we don't wait to see what the response is to that change. We get ahead of it, let people know this is what's happening, and then we'll deal with what the consequences are.
Sure.
Okay, and then if I can say one more thing.
Absolutely.
About Gulf Mill. You've already acknowledged the fact that Sterling did not live up to their promise to break ground in September. Is there any and by the way, that was the result, it wasn't the result, but you had a wonderful meeting with Sterling where you presented everything that was going to happen, but you didn't give the public any opportunity at that meeting to voice their opinions. There were no questions that were allowed at that meeting. You could talk to people individually afterwards, but a thing like that should have been that people here maybe had ideas that they would like to have floated.
Yeah, and they still can. So it did go to referendum as well, and 70-some-odd% of the people said keep doing it. And for that reason, but Sterling wanted to put all this information out. We've gotten feedback from people. We hear them. There's one, I can't use the name of the store there, but there's one person that's really holding up the whole development. They've got an old school lease there, and that lease, they have a lot of control of that shopping center. I mean, I have something like that in my restaurant. I would never hold my landlord hostage, but
Is there any openness on Sterling's part to perhaps review their plan and incorporate some new ideas instead
Yes.
of what they originally proposed?
community development's already working on that. We are talking, we redid the RDA, or we're starting to fix it. There were some gaps in it that we found, like I had said earlier. We're rethinking the whole thing, and then we will be presenting it. Right now, we're keeping it pretty tight, just between, us, now we've got our stuff done. Now that Sterling's talking, and then community development, we're all gonna sit down and figure it out. It's probably gonna be 2, 3, 4 different developers in there at once, like they wanna be the master developer, and then they'll bring other people in to do, certain areas. But yes, it's not a done deal yet, so we still have time, absolutely.
And then I'm going to hand this back to Margaret with one comment to thank whoever in the village was responsible for the coasters that were put out by, I think, the Niles Art and Culture Committee, showing the highlights of places in Niles. They were for sale at the Niles Art Festival a couple weeks ago. One of the pictures that they had on the coasters, it was Leaning Tower, the Historical Society, the waterfall, and the circular building at Golf Mill, which was the professional building.
We're trying to save it, Rosemary.
I hope so.
We're trying so hard. Everyone's saying it's not worth it to save, but that's because they don't want to spend the money. Believe me, I would love to see that building stay there. It's iconic. I agree with you, and we are fighting for it.
Get those items out into the local Hallmark stores for sale. Park Ridge puts all their items in the Hallmark stores.
All right.
We should have our stuff.
Thank
too.
you.
Thank you for the.
Sure. John, I'll have time for one more question after that.
So can you clarify, I'm kind of hazy on Golf Mill. Is the developer trying to sell its interest in Golf Mill? Are they, it sounds like it's in flux.
Everything's for sale, John. My restaurant's for sale if I get the right price.
Okay.
No, what they did was they want to be the master developer. They want to keep it. Are they going to sell it one day? If I was a gambling man, I'm going to say yeah. Whether they do it ahead of time or they do it now, we still have control with the RDA of what's happening there. When they threw that up for sale sign up on it with JLL, that was casting a wider net. Now there's people saying, hey, you know what? I've got 50 million I want to invest. I got 100 million I want to invest. I got 40 million I want to invest. That's what they were trying to attain like that, and it seemed to work. They were going to sell off certain parcels, like where they want the residencies on the southwest corner. They were up front with us that they would sell that off to the developer. Whoever develops it will, own it, build it, and operate it as, rental apartments or condominiums, whatever the market's asking for at that time. Are they going to sell the whole mall? Somebody gave them enough money? I think so.
So it sounds like they're getting cold feet and they don't want to do the project.
Nah, I just think everyone nationwide is just a little skittish right now about everything. I mean, the market's been a little volatile. I think nationwide things are just a little scary right now. I know a lot of people in the financial, banks are not loaning. You know why all these apartments are being built? Because the banks don't want condominiums built. The amount of money that they'd have to give for the condominium, they'd fail. So all the markets right now are people are standing back just a little bit. Everyone has cold feet. You and I would have cold feet for, investing $443 million. They're not walking away from it. They've been very open with us. There's been nothing but great communication up to this point. So that's what I know. Yeah, it's sort of an ongoing thing. I can't say too much. There's legal stuff involved in it, so I can only say, are they going to bail? No, I don't believe so. Not at all. Are they going to sell it? Somebody gave them enough money? Yeah, they would sell it. I mean, anyone would. But I'm talking about crazy money. But yeah, so they are still working with us very tightly. I mean, I got 3 phone calls from them in the last 10 days. One last question?
Tisha has one here too.
Oh, Tisha, go on with you first, honey. I'm sorry.
It's okay. Hi, Tisha Ashcroft. I sit on the Bike Pedestrian Committee. Safety is very important to me. Love the Niles Focus newsletter. Would like to state reminders under the Niles Police Department page about speeding, obeying stop signs, yield signs. If you break the law, it's a ticket. This problem is not isolated to Niles, it's everywhere. Also being mindful of people on bikes, pedestrians around town, share the road, being mindful of your surroundings while driving. The importance of using crosswalks as it can save your life. We just learned that an 84-year-old individual was crossing outside of a crosswalk on Tui, devastating. I would like to see some consistency in our newsletter about safety tips to help our residents, young and old. Thank you.
Good evening, folks. So my name is Ramon Prieto, 7035 Kedzie, right off of Shermer, which has a speeding problem, as we know. But to tie into what Tisha just said, I'm a big proponent of safety. I'm a retired soldier, served 28 years. Safety is a part of my life every day. Understand the importance of it. Mr. Lindblom, welcome aboard. We're glad to have you. Look forward to having that conversation. But it's huge. It's huge in our world right now. Our police officers, our firefighters, they are busy. They are extremely busy. And from my observations, as a retiree, I have some time on my hands, and I go out there and I ride my bike and I walk and I observe behaviors. The behaviors that I'm seeing from our residents specifically, the speeding, the lack of stopping at stop signs, and other reckless behaviors, is serious business, folks, serious business. So my public appeal to you who are about to get behind your wheel this evening is to slow down. Slow down. Everyone's in a hurry for whatever reason, but you're putting all of us at risk. You're putting everyone in this room at risk. That woman was 80-something years old on Tui. She was killed. Yes, she wasn't in a crosswalk, but why is a senior citizen getting run over? Why is a senior citizen? That's a couple of fatalities we've had in our community as well as neighboring communities.
We just had one 2 days ago in Dempster in front
Correct,
of Cooper's
George.
Hawk.
So
61-year-old man got hit and thrown across Dempster, almost hit the building at Cooper's Hawk.
So it's happening everywhere. And now we have e-bikes, and young people are young people. We've all been there. We get it. But we need to do a better job, and I'm going to use this word, policing ourselves. So what does that mean? Checking yourself. Checking yourself as you enter your vehicle and de-escalating. Because for some reason right now in our society, everyone is moving and nobody's getting out of the way fast enough. I have concerns, folks. I've deployed numerous times. I brought all my soldiers home. I want my residents to get home safely. We're all in this together. We all have skin in the game. Thank you.
Thank you, Ramon. And finally, we have one last question here.
One final question is who? Hi, I was trying to stay till the end, but I just wanted to make sure, when we go to the meetings, the regular meetings, our questions should be answered, correct? Like that we asked.
Oh, yeah.
So one of my concerns, and I'm asking tonight because it wasn't answered, I don't hear anyone, which I'm so surprised, of being concerned about sustainability and wildlife and the forest preserves being impacted by the high density of all of these units going up. I feel like there's already enough condominiums along the North Branch River, but adding the apartment that was just there, an additional 354 units, I'm very concerned about that river and that forest preserve. And in addition to that, very concerned about having these, I think Trustee Niedermeyer put it, at islands instead of cohesive neighborhoods. I walk a lot in this neighborhood, and every time a new development goes up, I'm faced with a no trespassing sign. And there's no pass-through for public access with the exception of a busy street. And I really respectfully request that that be considered in part of these plans, that we have safe places for people to walk and not blocking, access. I'm sorry, Janice. It's okay.
I got news for
But
you.
I just want to know if there was also an environmental study done. I asked that
yes, they
question
always-
last time, and I would like that to be published if it was done.
Yeah,
I'm
if
very
it's done,
interested to see
it's
that.
all public matter.
I didn't find it.
Yeah, well, I guess you could you could FOIA whatever you need. So I don't know specifically what you need, but maybe talk to community development. I know that they talk to MWRD. We have to make sure things are good with the county as well. I am going to start working with Friends of the River. So I just got some literature for them today. John Thill's a dear friend of mine. He was a trustee in Morton Grove. So they're talking about the river itself and how to better do things over there. So I'm going to use that as sort of a maneuverability piece. I'm excited about it. I was a Boy Scout. I get you. And the wildlife.
I mean, that's why
I see the wildlife every morning by my house. I get you. Thank you.
Very concerned.
Folks, that's it. Thank you. Folks, everybody, please, we have a lot of department heads here, questions, whatever it is. And make sure you stop and see Mr. Lindblom, too, as well.